So the chair was a little wet.
The amazing thing about the game, to me, is that we lost Coach Marion this morning because he had to go to the hospital. And about an hour before the game, he had the birth of his first child, baby girl. So what a great win, what a great birthday present for her first Coug win. I thought was just huge. So guys were pretty stoked and pretty excited about that all day long. We knew they were going in this morning. And it was a special day for them, and just a special day for us as well too. This team, they've done a terrific job of hanging in there. I had somebody put the question to me the other day, how do you keep them coming back? Is their spirit getting crushed with losses? And absolutely, they were not getting crushed because they're games that you're right there. The Kansas State game, 2 stops, you win the game. Washington, what a great game plan we had there to let a game get away from us. UCLA down there, Drick can't play in the game, and we play them completely differently. And then, of course, the Stanford game, Deontay Daniels goes out of the game, changes the whole dynamics of the game coming down the stretch. So it's not like you don't have talent, and it's not like you've been getting blown out. It's experience, and therefore it allows you to hang in there with your guys. You're patient, you wait for them until they grow and start to come. A great example of that is Quentin Henson. Here's a guy that has been struggling to learn the system, struggling to get his confidence, and I thought he played just a wonderful game tonight, and he allowed you to take the best three-point shooter in the conference and not even play him, and Carter not even miss a beat, doesn't mind it at all because he's got so many great games left in him. Drick Bernstein, it's difficult to press us with a guy like that and a weapon like that. He causes matchup problems. He flirted with the triple-double tonight in the game. For us to have 22 assists in this game, he's the reason for that because he's so unselfish. As a fifth-year senior coming to your program, you would think he'd want to take every shot. This is his last go-around. He's the most unselfish basketball player I've ever been around. To give himself up, to give his career up, to come here to Washington State and be a part of this and teach these young guys how to win, both on the floor and off the floor, and I can't say enough about him. Robert Franks and Malachi, it's been a long time since the 2 of those guys have put a game together at the same time. And for Robo to get in that type of a groove, and for these guys to really look for him and help him get that record. No disrespect for Cal, and I talked to Coach about that. When you're that close, you need to get that kind of record. And the neat thing is he broke Benny Seltzer's record on top of that. That's even special. But I'm just happy the way they hung in there. I think we need a weekend at Ernie's every weekend from here on out. Just keep bringing in different shirts because the students certainly responded. We responded. It was just a good game for us to play. Can I go? That it? You still got questions?
You told us last game that the last 5 minutes why you didn't play Robo, you could kind of tell during the shoot-around he just didn't have it. Do you think that maybe lit a fire in him not playing in the closing minutes?
I don't know if it's – I don't need to light a fire under these guys. I think he felt bad. All you got to do is go back and watch film. He watched the tape, and him and I talked yesterday. We talked again today. I called him before the game today and said, let's have a special game for you, a bounce-back game. So it's not about lighting a fire. He was just out of whack. And, these are still college student athletes. We do the best we can to parent and coach them, but at times they're going to show up and not as focused, and you got to hopefully have a deep enough bench you can put somebody else in. He's not going to be like that often, but what a great way for him to respond in this game.
Why do you think you guys were able to manage the turnovers? 15 is still probably a little too much for you guys, better than the last few games.
I thought we played too carelessly and maybe didn't anticipate their athleticism in the first half, and they got their hands on some balls. There's a tape out there on us, and I thought they were physical with us to start the game, knocking some balls out of our hands. We talked about it at timeout, and we really talked about it at halftime. And I thought we did a much better job of taking care of the ball, and a big reason for that is not over-dribbling. This is a passing system, not a dribbling system, and we put the ball on the floor way too much in the first half, trying to make too many things happen, when all you have to do is find the open man because we have so many good shooters. And when you allow yourself to do that, it becomes really, I would use the word pretty to watch, special to watch. You get in a great rhythm, it's entertaining, and that's kind of where we got the second half, shooting, I think we're 72 from the field and 71% from the three-point line. That's hard to do. and play the kind of defense that we were playing. But defensively, we've made some adjustments there that have really helped us. Contain the post and shut down big guys and rebound the ball better, and that allows us to get out and run and helps our offense.
Coach, kind of like you mentioned, Robo breaking Benny's record, and he actually hit the time shot right in front of Benny. Did he say anything on the bench when he did that?
I don't know. I'm too locked into the game to hear what's being said on the bench out there. I know I counseled him one time when he talked to a Cal player, just kind of smiling about this is. The game got beyond Cal for us, and it shifted to Colorado, Utah for me in about the last 8 minutes of the game. To close out the game the right way, continue to play tough defense, continue to share the ball, play smart, in anticipation of getting ready for what's on the road waiting for us. And that's why I didn't sub much. I wanted those guys to ride it out and get into a great rhythm and a great groove because we got 2 tough road games coming up. So I really wasn't focused on the record until somebody reminded me of that. I was really focused on coaching this team through this game and really coaching them into next week.
Coach, real low scoring first half with a lot of turnovers on both sides. With so many great offensive weapons on your team, how are you feeling about their defense? They seem to be playing great defense over the past few games.
You know, it is the defense is the key to our offense. Getting stops is huge for us. That Cal team is a pressing team that presses you for the entire game. They usually stay in the zone for an entire game, so they want to dictate tempo to slow you down and knock you off rhythm. When you get stops, you can't set up the press, and now you're at the mercy of the running game, where we can get down the floor fast, spread the floor, beat you off the bounce, find those shooters, and when we're able to do that, we control the tempo of the game pretty much for the whole game. But that happens with your defense, and the more you play defense, we were that way against Stanford in the first half. Our defense was really good. It was really good in the second half, but our offense broke down a little bit in the second half. But defense is the ticket for us.
After last game, you seemed a little ticked off, kind of no collisions today. How do you think the officiating did staying out of the way this time?
I called the supervisor, and him and I had a nice chit-chat over the last couple of days. And I'm sure he emailed this group of, in fact, I know he did because we talked to them about it. And it's just an adjustment on their part. They have to make it. They know who we are. My teams have played at that kind of speed and spreading of the floor all the way back to the Oregon days. So it's unfortunate that it happened. I feel like it cost us a game because I feel like if Beyonce's in the game, we're a lot more solid in the last 8 minutes of the Stanford game. We just didn't have it. We lost something when he went out. We lost the lead and never got it back. But it was mentioned. I'm sure it's going to be a great highlight tape for the officials clinics across the country this off season because of what happened. Because it's something they have to change and take a look at it. I'm on enough committees that we're on a committee that talks about the game in general, and I'm certainly going to bring it up as well too. But it's just officials paying attention to detail and understanding. We feel the corners now, not feel the wings, like the old days.
Coach, it felt like Deontay Daniels had one of the quieter, unsung hero type games with his defense on Coleman. Coleman really is a player that gets Cal's offense started. I mean, how did you feel about Deontay's game? He only had 5 points, but
well, the biggest thing I felt about his game was coming back from the injury against Stanford. There was some question as to what he could do. He was a little bit banged up in practice yesterday. Didn't do anything but ride the bike, and we got him moving today, and he felt pretty good. So I was happy he was able to get out there and play. He had 3, 4, maybe 5 wide open threes that he missed. So for him to focus on his defense, and then he hit the 2 threes in the second half. For him to focus on his defense, there's other ways you can help this team win. We have enough shooters, and our bigs have been doing a great job taking care of the post. We talked to this team about we need a guard that can step up and shut down a guy like Pickens, a guy like Coleman. You got to have that because you can't have the bigs neutralized and having guards having career nights on you.
is that the mental toughness that you're talking about when something's not going a player's way, like offensively speaking, to still dig down and do something else to help out the team? Like,
it is exactly the mental toughness that I'm talking about. And even with this team, even over the losses, they've been getting mentally tougher because to be able to go through that kind of adversity, especially for you young people, and not crack and continue to come back and come back and come back, that is making you mentally tougher. And to be able to now put it together in a game for 2 halves, for 40 minutes, do it through some adversity and weather a Cal team that's big, strong, and athletic, That's mental toughness. They're starting to come now. Now we have to go do it on the road against two teams in the upper half of the conference, on their home courts in front of 10,000 in Boulder and another 12,000 maybe in Salt Lake. And that's going to really test us there, because those environments are going to force you to toughen up even more so and force you to grow to be able to survive in them.